There are very few car makers in the world that scream luxury like Rolls-Royce. The UK-based car maker has been at the top of the engineering game for well over 100 years, delivering world-class elegance as well as performance during that time. Now the company has unveiled its newest offering, the latest Ghost model. Rolls-Royce has been making the Ghost since 2009, and it's their biggest selling car. So this year's version was guaranteed to have the motor fans as well as millionaires the world over licking their lips at the prospect of a new design and spec. The Ghost is the roller that owners actually want to drive as opposed to being driven in, so it's no surprise that this launch was hotly anticipated. In this video, we'll detail everything you need to know from the unveiling, from the engine, its styling, all the way through to the little extras that make a Rolls-Royce that little bit special. For now, let's look at the new Rolls-Royce Ghost. Billed as a slightly smaller, less ostentatious means of owning a Rolls-Royce than the Phantom, the new Ghost is slightly longer and wider than its predecessor. The new model ditches the BMW 7 Series derived underpinnings of the original car in favor of the latest flexible aluminum space frame already used for the Phantom and the Cullinan. The new Ghost's arrival has already been used by Rolls-Royce to introduce the concept of post-opulence, which simply put means the emphasis on design has been put on quality and simplicity rather than anything too flashy. For example, the Ghost's 21-inch alloy wheels get a less blingy two-tone design instead of a whole load of chrome, and the inside of the new backlit grille has been sandblasted to diffuse a soft light rather than produce hard shadows like the illuminated grille on a BMW X6. Panel joints have been eliminated as much as possible all over the car to give the impression that each body side is one clean, expensive piece. The Ghost's rear overhang is now longer in proportion to the front, an elegant Rolls tradition already present on the Phantom. According to Rolls designer Harry Cloak, who first came up with this less decadent philosophy, the flexibility of the new space frame allows the Ghost its impressively short front overhang and adds about 30 millimeters of body width while maintaining an uncomplicated body side design. This in turn improves handling by allowing the engine's weight to be carried entirely inside the wheelbase, but offering unchanged power, 563 brake horsepower with 10% more peak torque up to 627 foot-pounds. 0 to 62 miles per hour takes just 4.8 seconds, which for a 2.5-ton car is very impressive indeed. To put that into perspective, that's only slightly heavier than a rhinoceros. Just imagine that coming at you at the top speed of 155 miles per hour, because that's what you're looking at with this car. So it's elegantly designed and it's fast, but what about those extra features that turn a quick car into a luxury car? The new model has all the latest electronic parking, visibility, and driver assist features, along with an 18-channel 1300-watt premium audio system, 2 active microphones that juggle audio frequencies, which dulls intruding noise and enhances that which needs a boost. It also has a micro-environment purification system that can remove nearly all ultrafine particles from the interior in less than 2 minutes, because if you're a millionaire, then you can't be dealing with particles. Despite all the press being about the lack of flash, there's still a little bit of room for it. The grille is gently lit at night. Inside, a section of the dashboard in front of the passenger glows with stars, spots of light that surround the glowing word Ghost. When the effect is turned off, the panel looks simply black. The effect mimics Rolls-Royce's famous Starlight headliner that also glitters with scattered specks of light. We're about halfway through our look at the Ghost with more facts and figures to come. One of the most distinguishing pieces of engineering on the car is soundproofing. The engineers have deliberately created large chambers in various parts of the frame to carry noise-deadening materials. Sound engineers have put 220 pounds of sound-insulating material into the car in these chambers, and also inside window glass and in the tires. That also looked at things like the windshield wipers and air vents to eliminate even tiny noises that might not be consciously perceptible. The only problem with all this is it's a bit too quiet, eerily quiet. So quiet, in fact, that you could hear a pin drop, or worse, your passenger's heavy breathing. The solution was to actually let some of the outside noise back into the cabin. The acoustic engineers worked on harmonizing various sounds in the car so they would combine into a continuous, soft whisper. For example, a vent was added to the trunk, allowing some of the thrumming bass note created there to escape while not getting rid of it entirely. Because when you drive a car and you've spent this much money on it, you want at least a little hint at what it sounds like. Another feature that the new Ghost boasts is improved suspension. The suspension is a conventional, self-leveling, all-independent system, but the Ghost introduces a brand new planar system named after a geometrically perfectly flat plane that combines 3 cooperating mechanical and electronic elements which all serve to improve comfort and go hand in hand with the quiet ride. This is yet another example of Rolls-Royce engineering heritage at work, and who could argue with over a century of engineering history here? But it gets better. A mass damper on each front suspension top wishbone counteracts vibrations that surround bump impact, while a stereo camera system called Flag Bearer examines the approach approaching road surface, it speeds up to 60 miles per hour and adapts the suspension rates to suit. And if you thought that was clever, then a system called satellite-aided transmission uses GPS data to select the correct ratio in the Ghost's 8-speed automatic gearbox to suit approaching corners rather than reacting conventionally. Yes, that's right, the car uses a satellite to tell it what setting it should be in. The whole setup is juggled by integrated software and results in what lead engineer John Sims called a magic carpet ride. No wonder they put some sound back in. With these two together, it sounds like you could settle down for a nap pretty easily. This leaves us with only one more feature to explore on this amazing car, and that's the four-wheel drive. This is an upgrade from the previous model, and it's used selectively to get the most out of its powerful engine. Usually it cruises around in rear-wheel drive mode, but when you accelerate hard, it sends power to all four wheels for maximum traction. This helps the Ghost to those impressive acceleration stats that we mentioned before, as well as improved handling, which combined with the improved suspension makes this car very fun to drive indeed. So the big question here is, what is all this worth? Well, you can probably guess it's not cheap. In fact, it's very expensive. It's going to set you back over $300,000, which puts it up there with some of the most expensive cars in the world. And this is all from a car that's meant to be a more affordable counterpart to the Phantom. And that about does it for this video. Make sure to